If you look at the biggest VC valuations, the money went into these wrapper companies. Those wrapper companies were just wrapping OpenAI APIs. So that OpenAI, effectively, they were subsidizing OpenAI access. And then OpenAI went and built out
100%.
data centers. That loop is going to have a flip.
In 2026.
In 2026. In fact, very early in 2026. That's my prediction.
That's a good prediction.
Welcome back to 60/40. And today is not just any episode. This is, drumroll, thank you. This is our 20th episode since we launched in March, our last episode of the year. And to celebrate this, we are going to do a 60/40 wrap for the year, what we are calling the 2025 Tech Extravaganza.
Excellent.
Yay! And obviously, to commemorate this very special episode, we have everybody in the studio today. So hello.
No headphones.
Yeah, I know. The giant fuzzy headphones. But they're very comfortable.
Alexi's laptop, no feedback either.
Yes. Unless I shake it right here. Right
So we are joined obviously by Alexi, all the way from Hong Kong, Prashant, and Peter here. Okay, so here's what we're going to do.
What are we going to do?
Recapping some of the top headlines from 2025 and then making some predictions for what we think will happen in 2026.
Oh, fantastic.
So I kind of sorted this out into 5 rounds. They're not very long rounds, don't panic. First round, 2025 recap.
Mainly that's the listener, don't panic.
Yeah, exactly. Predictions, we'll do predictions for the AI, startup, and financial markets, and then a 2026 wish list. No big deal, right?
Fantastic. So this being our first predictions, we get to pull out this episode next year.
Yes, exactly.
And say how good we did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the one who gets the closest gets to name their price.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. That sounds...
Okay,
price
cool.
The other people have to pay.
Price for what?
I'll pay the agent here.
You pay, the one who gets the closest picks a restaurant. And the other people have to pay.
There we go.
All right,
That's
there
a
you
good
go.
deal.
Like it.
Here we go. We will inform the viewers on where they are taking me to dinner.
Okay, round 1, the 2025 recap. First question is, what was your biggest wow headline coming out of Asia this year? Prashant, let's start with you. I feel like I should have gotten buzzers, actually. Like buzz in.
Oh, yeah, we could buzz in.
Yeah,
That's
buzz
it.
in.
Can I go last?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, all right.
I'll go first. I'll go
Okay,
first. My favorite biggest headline is Grab becoming a real company.
Okay.
Acting responsibly, driving earnings, driving operating leverage. It actually raising prices in Singapore to make my consumer life miserable. But I mean, it's amazing. This company that was a scrappy startup and then an incredible high flyer, just how professional it's being run now. And I got to give them a lot of credit.
Flowers for Grab.
Yes.
I'm going to go with the North Asia comment.
Okay.
So DeepSeek.
Such a wow moment.
AI, but totally changed the script. Right up until that point, we said America's ahead, China, Asia is all behind, and then boom, we're on equal footing as a continent.
Yeah. Okay, that's a really good one.
And for me, I think it'll have to be, I think we had Amrish on the call here. And for me, I think we were speculating even last year that Pine Labs would be IPOing this year, and how they went about delivering that in record time, I'd like to say. And their numbers look solid. And I think that was a big win. The second one, which we've also discussed here,
You went
is
for 2.
and a quick, it's
Overachiever.
very similar, was I think the turnaround in Paytm. I think Paytm has been very similar to Grab. I think they've been manic about just performance and kind of sticking their head in the game and kind of turning that company around. So I think both very, very impressive. One new and one kind of comeback.
I cheated on mine because I didn't limit it to Asia.
Oh, that's okay. Prashant cheated in that too.
Yeah. But for me, it was a tariff story. Because like in April, it just like crashed. I mean,
that is cheating.
Yeah, it is cheating. I'm sorry. But it was, I mean, we're not talking about it anymore.
Yeah.
Not really, right?
Yeah.
And then so it was just like this crazy 3-month like whiplash, like you don't know.
Wipe down, wipe back.
Yeah, but obviously when it came out and we were, I think, going through the numbers and the tariff rates, it's like Southeast Asia had like an average of like 38% or something like that, which seemed kind of crazy. Yeah. And then you actually did hear the stories about like, oh, here's our trade deficit, the US trade deficit with Indonesia, with Vietnam, and like, you know, Asia kind of, I don't know, the region kind of came up in terms of like global coverage because of the tariffs.
Yeah. I will say to that, I've been shocked at how little impact the tariffs have had Now, the longer everybody goes longer term, but supply chains and companies have not been impacted as much as everybody
it's
said.
a shift.
But there's a very simple reason. Everyone just rolled over and said, yes, thank you very much, Mr. Trump. We would like the higher tariffs. The issue wasn't the tariffs. The issue was the back and forth. And you put tariffs on us, we'll put tariffs on you. Then you put tariffs on us again. And that's the issue.
Yeah.
Every country in the world, with maybe the minor exception of China, went, okay.
Just a minor exception. Yes.
Yeah. But even the China one, it's still not resolved, right?
No.
I think
But now their tariff rate is the same as Vietnam's.
Yeah.
So why on earth would you move a factory from China to Vietnam?
Yeah.
Next question. Specifically in the tech markets, what do you think was the biggest shift in Asia's tech scene in 2025? You can't say DeepSeek again.
Understood.
I don't have to go first. I went first last round.
Okay. Prashant.
I think the biggest one for me is at the start of the year, we were all talking about AI as a feature, as an app. And now AI is becoming more of the operating system. I think the language has changed. How people have warmed up to has changed. The conversations in the boardrooms have changed. I think going into 2026, I think we're going a little bit more leaning in with like, what is my AI story? Not how will this be regulated? Is it going to, this scary...
Take jobs.
Take jobs away narrative has kind of been downplayed or subsided a bit more. Regulation's a lot more clear. And I think we're leaning into, well, how do I make the best of this? This is my new water level. And how do I play into this? So that's a big change I see that's happened through the year.
So I'm going to go a little bit meta on this one. Not meta the stock.
I was going to say,
meta the word.
Could take that two different directions.
Asia's always, and you might disagree with this, but Asia's always been a little bit kind of behind on the innovation front. Like if you think of the US, you think, oh, we're going to try it. We're going to do something, right? And Asia's going to kind of the place where like, we'll wait and see, and maybe we'll adopt it. And to me this year, it felt like every country views AI as a kind of capability, as an existential threat. So every country, conservative or not, is really open to AI-related startups, AI-related programs in large companies, like Japan being the old fuddy-duddy kind of country. There's an AI department in every major company right now trying something. For me, in Asia specifically, it's just this massive shift in acceptance of a new technology only a year or two after it came into being, as opposed to a decade or two. After it came
like
into being.
waiting to let it trickle over. Kind of.
Can I build on that? I think not just at the company level, but I think also at the government sovereign AI level.
Agreed.
It's a very big change. In the past, I think governments have been like, well, we'll get to it when we get to it. But now I think it could be a combination of like maybe what's happened around the geopolitics of the world. Maybe the tariffs had a role to play with it. Maybe the sanctions and the SWIFT and all that stuff has a role to play with it, has a role in it. But I think every country is looking very carefully at what is their sovereign AI story.
Do you think it's because there's something special about AI, or because people have felt like they got left behind with like the mobile, like digitalization? They're like, we're not letting that happen to us again. Or because, when you look at AI, it is so clearly like hardware, software, security, productivity. Yes to all the above.
No, also I think AI is rooted in data. And that's where it starts. And every country is now trying to preserve its citizens' data, right? So I know for a fact that India wants data to be localized, right? And I think if its data is localized, but your language models are hosted overseas, that automatically puts your country at a disadvantage. So you need to kind of also localize the AI and the AI capabilities. So I think it just flows from where the data localization story ends.
I'm also going to take a page off of Prashant, and I'm going to go for two.
We should go for two.
So
make that the
you're just like spreading your chances of getting that data.
Exactly. My first one is maybe a continuation of a theme from 2024, which is kind of the Empire Strikes Back. You go back 2 years, startups in Southeast Asia where the startups would take on anything and get funding for anything. And now it's a little bit of Empire Strikes Back, where if you're a dominant player in your industry or in your ecosystem, you've got some tailwinds now. And it's a lot harder for startups to come and challenge in Asia than it was 2-3 years ago.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I work for a large tech company, so it's fantastic.
Dig
in, baby.
You're like, it's my time to shine.
I am your father. So, Luke. I think it's never good to have a funding winter. It's never good for innovation. So I don't think it's a good thing overall, but I'll take it. My second thing is this thing in 2025, I have been shocked at the difference in maturity and trajectory of crypto at the exit point of the year versus the entrance point of the year. It was already starting to kind of show, like there is some very material momentum around more structured crypto as part of life. There's still material risks, but it's a very different conversation now from something that you just basically gamble on to something that underpins real financial instruments and real use cases. So that's changed a lot in 1 year.
And I think especially over here, right? Our cross-border needs are definitely kind of wedged into crypto a lot more than maybe the United States. In that sense, we're very different. And for us, for a long time, it's right. Crypto was casino. And now it's becoming the invisible rails on which kind of financial systems are being built. So
and same
impressive
coins
change.
in particular, I think. Okay, mine was that actually it feels like people are IPOing again, right? Like, I mean, Pine Labs for sure, but so it's not just India for sure, but also Hong Kong. It feels like markets are open again, and then like we're actually going to see some proper exits happen. I mean, I don't know. I think people are feeling pretty good. Your pipeline's good.
It is, and as you guys know, I said in the Hong Kong Exchange.
2026, Alexei gives up.
As you guys know, I sit on the Hong Kong Exchange Listing Committee, and like every week, it's more than 5 IPOs going through the process. Now, how many of them list is a slightly different story, but there are people constantly.
And a variety of industries, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there have been people waiting for a while, so there's a bit of a backlog.
And I'd like to say, like, Alexei sitting on the Hong Kong committee has not helped us one bit. It's been
compliance department, please be aware, it has not helped anyone anywhere.
I have a prediction for 2026
on what will not happen.
Exactly. Okay, next question. I think maybe looking back towards 60/40 itself, this is our 20th episode. Yes. And so also want to talk about what some of your favorite episodes were, some of your favorite guests, and then things that we got right and wrong. So first question, what did we get right on this podcast this year? Or one thing that you called that you're feeling pretty proud of?
I think it's Alexei's turn to go first.
All right. I'll do one, but with a little bit of a caveat because it still hasn't fully played out. So at some point, we talked about whether or not AI is in a bubble.
Yes.
And one of the things I said was there's no question that at some point, someone will make a chip that is either better than NVIDIA's, equal to NVIDIA's, or cheaper than NVIDIA's. And just this weekend, we all saw the headline of Google training Gemini 3 on their own TPUs that are not as advanced as NVIDIA's GPUs. They're not multitask. You can't plug them into everything the way you can NVIDIA, but they are a fraction of the price. And they can connect a lot more of them. And now Facebook just overnight said, well, could we buy some?
Yeah.
And of course, NVIDIA's stock price dropped. In the night session, they dropped like 8%. It recovered a bit during the day. Google's stock price went up. I don't think this is the end of the AI bubble. In fact, I'm actually more positive on the entire AI trend in the stock market than I was in the summer. But there is no question in my mind that NVIDIA's road going forward is rough.
Yeah.
From a stock price point of view, not from a existence and quality of products. Cisco's still around, but it took it 25 years to recover its 1999 stock price.
That's right.
In 2040, I'm excited to see NVIDIA hit an all-time high again.
2040.
2040.
We'll be here.
That's my 2-decade prediction.
We're going to pull out that episode.
I feel like it's going to be like on the floppy disk equivalent now. Right. Be like, how do we access that cloud from 2025?
Mash piece for everybody.
Exactly.
Mine, I think we talked a lot about, agentic commerce. Right off the start of the year, we were like, oh, it's going to be like AI and there'll be a cart created and it'll go do your commerce. I think we've started to see glimpses of that come true. I think so very proud that I think that's the direction of travel. And I think that will further get embedded even more. The other prediction was what I called blue collar coding jobs would be gone, right?
Yeah.
And I think for most part, they're gone. I think if you look at all the layoffs and if you track all the company performance and how much of the code is now written by AI, all the basic kind of setup code is now written by Cursor or Claude Code or one of these AI augmented copilots. I do think that's the trend. So you will have experts who will continue. You'll have system architects who will continue. But I think the low level coding, for most part, will get more and more replaced. What I got wrong was I did say that everyone will become a developer and everyone will build their own and whatnot. I think
and only Peter did it.
Even that, he doesn't want to happen.
www.petersphotography.org. Go check it out.
And so I think that bubble did come apart pretty quickly. I think we all tried. My kids tried. I tried. We all had Replit accounts, and we all kind of at some point gave it up.
But what happens now? Like if you don't train, if those junior level developer roles aren't there, and you don't train, then how do you ever get to that mid to top tier?
You train differently. I think that's, I guess,
you train by reviewing.
Yeah, you review
vibe,
code and or you basically.
I think we're still sorting it out. I mean, also, the vibe code trend, which everybody thought was going to be mass take up, will actually really change the role of a product manager and UX.
Right.
Like, so deep in the trenches of product and UX organizations, the whole way of working is going to be blown apart by vibe coding.
Yeah.
Now, how that gets reassembled, I don't know, but that it's going to have a pretty fundamental change there. And I don't think we know how senior developers will grow up.
Yeah.
They'll adapt. I mean, it's like, I don't know, master seamstresses versus somebody with like a sewing machine, you get there over time.
You just get more skilled.
Yeah.
Mine was actually the inverse of Prashant's blue collar coding, which is the top end coders are still super valuable. You cannot write code with AI for large scale deployments, full stop.
100%.
And if anything, you need those people even more now. Because they're the people who have done code inspection of junior coders for a long time, so they can quickly code inspect what AI writes and even be more productive. So those people are just astonishingly more important now.
What did you get wrong? Or what did we get wrong? Sorry. Let's not make it so personal.
I get
what did we collectively get wrong?
What did we
got the bow tie wrong.
Okay. I got, you should have worn a tux again.
Yeah.
Like the first episode.
Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah.
Okay. One thing I got wrong so far, but like I wrote this and then it revived. The grab go to merger.
Yeah. The grab.
I was talking about it for so long. Okay. I had it on very good insider information. Take a note, Alexi. Insider information that it was going to happen before the end of Q2. And obviously it did not, but obviously with
You didn't say what year.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm at Q2 2026, which is still possible.
But obviously, this year the Gojek CEO Patrick Olujo stepped away, and Hans Patua, the COO, is nominated to fill that seat. And I think that'll.
Was he the insider?
No, I cannot say, but no. Sorry, that's for Hans' sake, not for mine. It was not Hans. I can tell you.
So Q2 still could happen, just different year.
I mean, it's just interesting because Patrick was, the hard driving private equity investor and blah, blah, blah. And so I think it does kind of, So anyways, I was looking really wrong 3 weeks
ago. Is this going to be a 2026 prediction?
Ooh, it wasn't mine, but maybe I'll make it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to back you up here, Maria.
Okay.
Like, come on, guys out there, if you are working for Grab or Tokopedia, can you just get this thing done? Isn't this so obvious, right? So just put the egos aside and just get it done. Imagine the pricing strength you would have. It'd be enormous, right? Much to the chagrin of all of our viewers and listeners out there, we know, but nevertheless, your shareholders will love it. So there you go.
Great.
Now you need to put the disclaimer, are you a shareholder?
I am not.
Okay.
So except through index funds, which I do not control.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the end of round 1. Ding, ding. Round 2. Moving on to AI.
There's 5 rounds.
Yeah, but okay, that was the longest round. That was the longest round. Okay. The next question is, which emerging technology will go mainstream in 2026?
Ooh, I'm going first.
Okay.
Agentic app stores.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So within large ERP platforms, within Salesforce, within large B2B deployments, there will be app stores developed for agentic bots that you can download, plug into the platforms, and that will support very large scale companies.
So can you give me like a sample use case, or like how would it work? Like if I need a sales agent?
A Workday use case to run an agent to check for fraud in my accounts receivables.
Okay, so I go to the App Store.
Within Workday.
Yeah.
And there will be agents published and built by somebody else to string together a multitude of tasks across your Workday deployment to do X or Y or Z. In my example, spot fraud through the pipeline of accounts receivables.
That'd be sick, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I've been waiting for.
Mine is a bit simple and maybe a bit narrow. I would love for Google to take that AI view page and make it primary.
Oh, okay.
That's
They're going to swap out.
That's a big. Well, it's not really not that big. You just A/B test it and you do it.
Yeah, correct. I mean, they already added it, right?
Yeah.
But
there must be A/B testing. There.
Yeah, you've got Perplexity basically saying you don't need to search anymore. You just ask Perplexity a question and it'll give you an answer. Google has it too, but but you've got to go and actively choose to do it. I'm getting it to a point where I prefer that.
And so that's a user comment. We'll come at it from a revenue side. What does that do to their paid search?
So this is the interesting thing. So because I don't fully trust it, I get the answer, and then they include the links.
Yeah.
And then I click on them, and I go, yep, no, that's legit. Okay. But it's much more intuitively.
I'll one-up you on that one. Or no, I'll just follow-up question. So when you get an AI summary on top, you have to have a higher degree of trust. And here's the top link, and here's the 5 paid links in a list.
Yeah.
So are you saying I'll just pivot and whoever pays for that answer can just be that answer? Because who verifies in that situation?
Well, what's that famous saying, right? If it's free, you're the product or whatever it is, right? So you know what? If it's working and it's working well, I'll pay $5-10 a month for Google search to save me time.
Wow, that's a bold prediction.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like it.
Prediction.
Mine they're twofold. One is
we should ban this.
I think we'll have.
This is why our rounds are taking so long.
Now we'll have AI specialists, right? So you'll have an AI banker, you'll have an AI doc. I think people will start to feel very comfortable sharing all their information, and very similar to your use case of an agent that kind of goes through and follows through and looks for fraud. I think you'll have AI specialists that you will look to trust, and it will know when to refer you forward, right? So I think that'll be an experience we will have, and we've kind of started to have a little bit of that, but I think it'll become more mainstream. The second is I think we will actually start having physical factories, AI factories that are dark factories that will manufacture, and I think that'll happen in Asia first. I think we will. I think China already has.
Yeah, I was going to say Xiaomi already has it,
but we will have that become way more mainstream. I think a lot of production will be dark production with.
By dark, you mean there's no lights?
There's no lights, no HVAC, and just lasers and production. I think that will become
mainstream. When you say lasers, can you go like lasers?
And maybe drone delivery. Let's throw that.
You think that'll happen next year?
Yeah.
But
I want to. If we're asking for whatever we want, we might as well predict it.
It's a great list, by the way. It's a very cool list.
This is going to be really great.
The future built by 6040.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next one, AI power ranking. So obviously China is the reigning champ of AI in all of Asia, but who's the next one that emerges next year?
I'm voting for a country I'm quite passionate about, South Korea.
Okay.
South Korea, Samsung. You have all the consumer electronics that we own and our televisions, as well as our refrigerators and our air conditioners. And you may not use the AI, but the use of AI to make your air conditioning more efficient, to make your refrigerator more efficient, the use of AI on a Samsung phone. It can't get worse, so it's got to get better.
But the ads are so good.
Yeah, exactly. So I I'm going to say because South Korea actually plays a role in so many things that we use in our house every day, I'm going for South Korea.
Yeah. I said South Korea too. It was a toss-up between Japan and South Korea, but I felt like ultimately the adoption curve is faster in South Korea.
Oh, you're not within South Korea. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
One of mine was going to be Japan because they have the greatest need for it.
Yeah.
They've got the massive population issue. No one to talk to old people. They already have all the cute stuff like robotic dogs that you can.
They're like halfway there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And put AI in that dog and see what happens.
But you can't really pet that dog.
So Japan was my first thought, but then please tell me if you agree with this.
Yeah.
The flip side of Japan really needs it is India, which has this massive population, the law of large numbers, an immense amount of potential data that it's currently not utilizing.
Yep.
But I don't know if they can actually
Let me just build on that. So I think India wins the AI BPO combination because I think, look, for the world, right? Like basically they're already the BPO hub and maybe they compete with Philippines in some ways. But I think if they can bring AI efficiency, and again, it comes back to who has the data. I think every American health transcription, every American insurance, every American tax, every American accounting, all that data is sitting in India, right? In those BPOs. So, and if they can just better their outcome for not just America, but then also going back to your point, India also has a large, also now slowly starting to age population. The medical needs of the country are significant. The number of trained doctors are minimal. So I think you're going to see a whole need come out that's very native to the country. So I think AI will be the front line for many things. Defense, of course, and I think for a lot of these services, including medical services.
So your response was India.
Yeah.
All right, last question on this one. Does the AI bubble pop in 2026? And if so, what causes it?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what causes it because it's always something crazy that causes a bubble to burst. It could be like a chipset that gets released or something like that. You never know. But just because the bubble popped doesn't mean AI doesn't change everything, like the dot-com era or whatever. Yeah. But the high valuations of the top tier.
Of NVIDIA
they're all going to pop, right? So I just, and I think it will be sometime. You can already see the jittery back and forth in the markets. Sometime in 2026, it'll pop.
And do you think it's like a correction or like a pop? Like a correction is like, I don't know. Alexa, you're the finance
10-15% down versus 40-50% down.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the pop. Why not?
Okay, all right.
Why not?
Okay.
So as I said earlier, I've come around a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think for NVIDIA for sure, and OpenAI. NVIDIA and the private valuation of OpenAI is fantasy. And NVIDIA's public valuation will need to course correct.
Are you a shareholder?
I am not of either. But what's the flip side of NVIDIA not getting as much revenue and OpenAI struggling? Google, Microsoft, Facebook, CapEx going down massively. Yeah. Savings, profits again. So I was thinking earlier, what did I get wrong? I thought that the Mag 7 profits would start to return closer to the 493 at some point this year, and they really haven't. I mean, Facebook had a one-time cash charge in Q3, but otherwise they still grew 30% year on year. So NVIDIA's and OpenAI's loss is everyone else's gain.
So I look at Google over the last 3 months.
Correct, right? It's like literally a perfect, but repeat that again and again and again. Yeah. So the big fear that a lot of the investment community has with these names is they've gone from being CapEx light and super efficient, one line of code resold 1 million times, to they're building physical stuff and buying nuclear power plants. Yeah. This is crazy. Yeah. And now, slowly but surely, they won't have to build as much physical stuff, or at least it'll be their own physical stuff.
Or build nuclear power plants.
Yeah, and no, they will still probably build a few, but they won't have to build nearly as much because TPUs require less energy. Yeah. I think there will be a wobble, no question. There has to be after, the last time there have been 3 double-digit years in a row was 97, 98, 99, and then 27, 29, 27, 28, 29. So like a third year that's this good is tough. A small correction, yes. For a few names, bubble bursting. But for the market overall, actually, I think it might look better now than it did 6 months ago. I mean,
you're excited because there's like balance being restored to the rest of the market a little bit.
Correct.
And we're not so overly
earnings
weighted.
are starting to show up a little bit in the Mag 7 that are like beyond their existing businesses.
Yeah, I think I have very similar views. I think the techno-optimists in me always believe that this technology is here to stay, and I think it becomes more of the fabric. It's not a sector or a app or something. It becomes the operating system. I think it will pop for a few, for sure. The names that you mentioned bang on my list as well.
Can I play the pessimist in this?
Yeah.
So the downside scenario in my head is the overall U.S. economy. To what degree is it at the fringe being supported by all these data centers being built, all the people building data centers, all the construction firms, all the debt going in to build this? The debt numbers going in to build all these data centers are not immaterial for the U.S. domestic economy.
Yeah.
when that goes away and the U.S. catches the flu, everybody catches the cold.
Yep.
So anyway,
That's not
just,
next year.
Yeah. That's too short term, I think. Yeah, I would say. I think all the energy build out in the US,
Yeah.
that will get utilized, I think, in other ways, right? So I don't think the energy build out is a problem. I think the data center build out also will get utilized. It's just the names that we are talking about today may not be the names we talk about next year.
I'm referring to the consumer side impact of the employment of building all these data centers. Because when the data centers are built, it doesn't require anybody to run them.
Correct. But you're saying that as if it's something that can get done in 6 months. We need a lot more data centers, and we need a lot more energy.
Yeah.
So the real end to the trend or to the bubble is when compute becomes so cheap that no more investment is necessary. For compute to become so cheap, you need to have the data centers built, you need to have the chips, and you need to have all the electricity required to run them. And I can accept that the first two might happen in the next year or two, but the electricity required to run them in the US,
Yeah.
What is that?
we're far away.
Yeah.
So AI-related or technology-related build-out, I think Goldman had a stat, 95% of the last 12 months of GDP growth has been that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So the rest of the economy has flatlined.
Yes.
But as long as that continues, and it will continue until compute becomes so cheap that you don't need to build anymore,
Right.
Yeah.
we might just float by. And remember, if there's no jobs in the data centers, there's no people spending more money than they were yesterday, which means there's no inflation, which means the Fed can cut to support.
But if you just build on, hey, if energy costs went close to zero, what does that do to the world? That fundamentally changes everything we know as we know it today, right? Like everything. You can live anywhere. You can harvest crops anywhere. So if energy could be decentralized and could be free, and if that's the direction of travel, and if that's the innovation that comes out after all these years, maybe the AI was the leading kind of runner driving that change.
Are you betting on that in 2026?
No, I'm not.
Is that your
No, but
2026?
for
that would
2030,
drive-
2030.
But that would change everything.
I'm going to dinner.
But that would change everything, right? If cost of energy, went 1/10 of what it is today, and it was sustainable.
Yes.
Whether it's nuclear fusion or what have you, right?
Sorry, what you're saying is that the demand for energy for AI has kicked off a race to get to zero cost energy for around the world.
Around the world. Because again, any country that needs to build out its AI sovereignty has to build out its energy capacity.
Yeah.
So I think if the dialogue, I'm presuming at the very highest of levels at every nation is not just, hey, how do I build my data center? How do I get the chips in?
Yeah.
Is
How do I
power that?
But I think we had the conversation on this podcast a few episodes ago, but like if nobody in Southeast Asia is doing that much about the energy on the energy side. And so literally
And that will be their limiting factor.
Yeah, so what you hear is Saudi Arabia, China, and the US. Like those are the three countries racing to get to zero cost energy. But everybody else is like, we have data centers, and we can power those. So why couldn't we power like the AI side?
The requirements are so fundamentally different that you have to innovate
and bring us back to the 2026 question. Until we get to that much cheaper energy, compute won't be cheap.
Right, it won't be cheap.
Right.
So they'll keep building.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my sense is, look, all these AI wrapper companies don't have any real proprietary data.
Oh, you're stealing one of my points. You're absolutely right. No, you do.
I think
he can see your screen, I bet.
so. I think that's where you're going to see a lot of shrinkage, right? Yeah. So it's good for the Peter's business where you have the data and you'll basically eventually get to that data. But the guys who are sitting outside trying to claw at that data,
I agree with that.
will not get there. And those guys will see the pop. And that's where a lot of the valuation is. If you look at the biggest VC valuations, the money went into these wrapper companies. Those wrapper companies were just wrapping OpenAI APIs. So that OpenAI, effectively, they were subsidizing OpenAI access. And then OpenAI went and built out 100%. Data centers. That loop is going to have a flip.
In 2026.
In 2026. In fact, very early in 2026. That's my prediction.
That's a good prediction.
All right, great.
I don't know about zero energy, but that's
okay. We moved on to round 3 on startups. Okay, so that's your prediction as to who loses in the startup scene next year.
Yeah, the wrappers are gone.
The wrappers, and then the VCs who backed them.
Yeah,
yeah.
I had it framed slightly differently. For me, it was all the niche AI B2C products. That have like a very specific use case.
Yeah,
because none of them can do that much more than a generic
foundational model company
can, right? So like you can I'm pitched, a very specific Even
true.
B2B, like I'm pitched a specific product. Oh, we can make your wealth management process for clients more efficient by 10%. I'm like, yeah, but OpenAI can make it more efficient by 7%.
Right.
Yeah.
And they can do all these other things too.
Yeah.
So I think all those companies are going to be in a lot of trouble, except for maybe the very heavily regulated industry. So, for example, a lot of lawyers, we have a lot of lawyers as clients.
Yeah.
And they talk about client attorney privilege. How do you solve that with AI?
Yeah.
Like, how do you deal with that in an AI world? So they might need something extremely specific and extremely locked down. Maybe OpenAI offers that, or maybe someone niche offers that. I don't know.
I think that's what I meant by AI specialists. Like, I don't think the generic OpenAI ChatGPT is what we'll be using to kind of upload our doctor reports and lab reports. We will have a private mode.
Yeah.
Or a lockdown mode, or a lawyer mode, or a compliance mode.
And that'll be the only thing that survives beyond the generic models.
Yeah.
Okay, super generic. I mean, the foundational models, or super niche.
Yeah.
But anybody in between.
And regulated.
Are we going to get to stock picks later? Or?
Yeah, later.
So I won't reveal my. Stay tuned, everyone. My stock picks. But what I would say, when you are a large corporate, and you're building out AI use cases, aside from the tokens itself, there are common ancillary services that you need, whether it is processing in a cloud or Databricks to get your data structure in a good place. There are common tools and common frameworks that you need to accelerate your spend on in order to get the benefit of the use case overall. Anything that broad-based large corporates have to take up to mobilize a use case, yes, there'll be token generation and that'll play out however it plays out. But there are ancillary services you need to get an AI service up and running. Those will do very well.
The concept of data vaults, I think AWS created this private cloud verbiage. I think that will become very common speak. We'll say, oh yeah, I put it in my data vault for both consumers as well as businesses.
All right.
And the underlying foundation model.
All right. In the startup market, any winners for next year? In Asia.
The startup market.
Startup market specifically.
Market.
Startup scene.
I think I'll again say there are regulated entities. I'll take the example of India, where they have gone out, they're regulated, but they've acquired a lot of consumers. Let's take Cred as an example. You guys may have heard of Cred. And they've kind of earned the trust of consumers, and they've got a lot of data, right? They have consumers' credit card data. They have consumers' banking data. They have consumer spend data. I think these companies have just started to scratch the surface in terms of like what they can do with AI. I think they will now just leapfrog and accelerate significantly. In fintech, I think that's my bet.
If I have to pick one, this is a tough one for me, and I had to think about it a lot. I don't know if it counts as Asia. I'm back in Canva. Microsoft Office Suite is so slow on AI generation. If Canva can really pull ahead on AI use cases for business, I think Canva has a real potential to really crack enterprise in a way that its valuation is always promised but never quite delivered on. So I'm Canva, if you're out there, I've got your back.
I was going to go for robotics.
Yeah.
Robotic companies. Yeah. I mean, you're already obviously
That's a good
physical
one.
AI.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
It's not.
It's not Asia at all.
Yeah.
Other than China.
China's Asia.
Yeah.
They have the Olympics.
I was like, wait, what are we talking about?
China's Asia.
It's literally only the US or China.
Breaking news
and
here on
actually, China's
60/40.
a bit better. But I've been meeting interesting startups here, like people who are moving from the US who are working on like firmware to kind of connect right? Because we've been talking about software and hardware when it comes to the robots, but the firmware is actually like the brain part of it. And so there's like a small group of robotics firmware founders here that I think is really interesting. So I don't think robotics will be like mainstream in 2026. I think maybe 2027, 2028, but I think, you'll see more robotic startups coming out of this region.
So mine was a bit broad. It's I think just good old fashioned hardware that somehow makes either your energy costs lower or your the daisy chaining of processors faster or whatever it might be.
South Korea, here we go.
There's a small company in Hong Kong that figured out how to kind of cool Bitcoin mining chips faster. and they're starting to sell globally. So there's I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Beyond that's a Prashant question, not an Alexi question. But I think the world has accepted that AI will now stay, and that computing power will need to grow, and now it's going to be all about efficiency, and there will be small use cases of like, oh, I've gained 0.1 kilowatts here, and I've gained 0.1 microseconds there, and those companies will be snapped up by the big guys.
Okay, guys, we're on round 4. So we're crushing it. This one's more about financial markets. So which Asian market will become the unexpected MVP next year?
So I'm going to stick with the Japan comment. And it is going to have nothing to do with tech. The current expectation built into Japan is that Japan is on the wrong side of China. And the yen is going to have to strengthen. Like the number one thing I hear from people is, Japan can save the bond market or the yen. It can't save both. And I'm not sure that's true. So Takaichi she just announced 150 billion new spend, and like no one paid attention. That's 3% of GDP. Japanese companies have moved a lot of their production offshore. So yes, they're super exposed. The yen strengthening is bad for the revenue side, but not if your inputs are also offshore, because then the two things wash out. Japanese banks will do well if rates rise, and we actually saw it in Europe and US. When rates rose, all of a sudden the financial services industry went, revenue. I forgot what it's like to be able to collect a positive loan. I have a friend who has a mortgage in Japan. It's got a 50-year mortgage at 0.4%.
What?
Amazing.
Like that sucks to be a bank, right?
Great for me.
Yeah. And of course, the Japanese population is sitting on massive, massive amounts of Japanese government bonds and cash. And all of a sudden, they will be earning a yield on that. What are they going to do? They're going to spend it. Because now they're afraid of inflation, which they haven't had for 30 years. And so if they're going to go and spend it, that'll lead to consumption. So I don't think any of that is priced into Japan.
Right. So it's all upside.
Right now.
All right. Interesting.
I mean, I have to say, I think there's a lot of very cool companies coming into the IPO kind of zone for India. I think these were kind of companies that were getting built up over the last 3-4 years, getting very disciplined. So I think I'm very bullish on not just because the domestic markets are doing well, but also the IPO window is open. And I think there's a few really good companies coming in.
For that same reason, there are so many interesting, exciting companies in mainland China that have evolved, whether it's on the hardware side or the software side. Do they all turn to Hong Kong to IPO to access capital in a different way, or are they just all going to go to Shanghai? And because I wonder if capital's still shy about mainland China and if it's easier to IPO in Hong Kong.
So it's actually not up to them. The regulator in mainland China has to give permission for an IPO offshore. Remember a couple of years ago,
and Hong Kong's considered offshore?
Hong Kong's considered offshore. Yeah. So remember the DD thing in the US, how they tried to list in the US?
Oh, yeah.
And then the Chinese government was like,
you're not allowed to do that.
That's our secret data, or whatever was the reason. I do think that Hong Kong is the preferred destination because it has a weird side benefit for the founder. When you list in Hong Kong, the IPO proceeds get deposited in a Hong Kong bank account.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you have money outside of China.
Without going through their crazy capital control process.
The government's fully aware, right? But you don't need to go, you don't need to then figure out and get permission. It's just outside. It's fully accounted for, but it's already there. And you get a completely different investor base. So I think both will continue to happen. The critical, national security stuff, it's not listing in Hong Kong. It's always going to be in Shanghai.
Got it.
But I've heard Shanghai specifically has like a multi-year wait list.
Maria,
and so
you hear a lot. It's so fantastic.
I will say, it doesn't surprise me because the regulator there...
Are you saying I need to fact check a little better instead of just passing on hearsay? I'm just calling me out.
I'm so lucky to sit next to you.
It's very possible because the Western thought process around IPO regulation is as long as all the laws are followed,
then you go. Yeah.
It's up to the investor community to decide if you're a good investment or not.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the Chinese regulatory approach has been a lot of our retail investors are not yet educated. And we need to determine if you are a good enough company.
Sounds like a good Chinese dad. It's like, that tracks. Okay, last round. Ding, ding. This is the 2026 wish list, what you hope will happen next year, and any hot takes that we haven't already covered. And so first one is, what do you want to see happen in either tech or startup markets in 2026 in Asia?
I want to see more robots and less and fewer chatbots.
I agree with, I had a
Robots,
no
not
chatbots thing.
chatbots.
Yeah,
I want to see
more
with like
robots, fewer
with like a
chatbots.
shotgun. Like, I want to see more robots and chatbots.
Fewer chatbots.
Oh, fewer chatbots. Sorry.
So more physical AI versus I think this
Yeah.
Let's chat more.
yeah.
Okay.
Things that can do stuff versus just tell you random stuff. That's what I want to see.
That can read like an SOP and spit out the
Can
to
build you the product.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to see trust become a really critical factor in AI across the board.
You think people are under?
I think people are undervaluing trust. I think the signal to noise ratio is going through the roof. And my wish is that whether it is society, whether it is markets, whether it is value propositions, the role of trust. Can you trust the data? Can you trust the answer? My wish is that becomes a critical part of the conversation way more than it is today.
Because
that's my wish.
You think it'll help differentiate great companies from like?
Yeah, say for example, Seek. Yes.
Yeah.
But also I think it's talked about, but it's not talked about enough.
Yeah. I think consumers haven't had a scare issue with trust in AI yet.
Yeah.
You know, like people are out there talking about, like Sam has been like, I don't know why you're uploading all your person. Like it seems obvious, but until you get burned, people are like, you know, you just can't.
I think over the course of the next year, it's bound to happen. I mean, you're getting really close, 6 months, 12 months away from being very hard to distinguish one video from another.
Oh yeah.
It's getting very close and hasn't happened yet. You can still go, oh, that's an AI video. But it'll happen in 6 to 12 months, and that's going to change a lot.
Is there anything that you want, any startup or AI trend that you would like to see die? Chatbot noted. Done.
I'm with you on the AI video thing. I think there needs to be some sort of detection tool built that, you know, before things go on YouTube or Insta or wherever.
Yeah.
You're getting to a point where anyone can make a video of anyone saying anything. Yeah. And then you really are living in a post-truth world. That and, you know, shitty chatbots that don't let you get to a human but also don't solve your problem.
I just keep telling you, yeah, I understand.
It is frustrating.
It is frustrating to be you right now.
Like, shut up. Good thing I'm a robot. Yeah. All right. Anything else y'all have for 2026?
I have a stock pick.
Oh yeah, okay, sure. Let's do
stock picks.
Sure, let's do stock
I'm
picks.
gonna do my stock pick. I've been waiting.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that one.
Hold on. It's this company you've never heard of before. It's called Amazon. Hear me out.
Okay.
Amazon is trading at a 28 PE right now, which is just about the average for both NASDAQ and NYSE. And Amazon, if you hadn't heard, has this awesome division called AWS. As every company, they have 80% market share plus of cloud. As every company builds out AI use cases, you need AWS. You don't use AWS to maybe generate the token all the time, but you need it to process other things to do your use case, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Every company's AWS bill that I talk to is skyrocketing right now. I don't think that's imputed at a 28 PE when the market is at 28. So my stock pick is Amazon. Go long on Amazon not because of their AI, but because you need to use them when you do AI.
All right, so I've got a stupid non-tech question.
Yeah.
Why can't I use the Google Cloud?
You
or
can.
the Alibaba Cloud or the whatever Azure or whatever they offer.
You can. The answer is you can, but the inertia.
Yeah, you're already entrenched.
Well, you're already entrenched. Not only is all your data there, is all your apps there, all your coders know how to use AWS. The race to speed versus the effort to get a different use case and get the data over to Google Cloud and get the apps talking to one another, the cloud apps talking to one another. it's an enormous, once you're spun up on AWS,
You don't leave.
it's very hard to leave.
Okay.
And also what Amazon did really smartly earlier on is that they said, oh, it's not just about servers and data. You should use our serverless kind of prepackaged code. Right?
Yes.
So you basically are in saying, oh, it auto scales and you don't have to kind of spin up a machine. That's abstracted out. You just use our serverless kind of services, right? So once you start using those services, it's very hard to replicate those services in other platforms. So inertia is the biggest one.
Yeah, I mean, effectively, you get all the customer acquisition that naturally happens with AWS with new customers starting to go into cloud for the first time. And then you also get, which I don't think is included in the PE ratio, every existing customer's ARPU going up 50% in 1 year.
That's a fair point. Other stock picks? You must have so many.
I'm so banned from giving any individual stock.
Really?
Company. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Hong Kong Index? Are you banned from that?
Actually,
I'm super banned.
you joke, but like the Hong Kong Exchange has like a dividend yield of 8. That's crazy
Yeah,
for
that's a good deal.
index index
Yeah.
wide.
Yeah. It's a good deal.
Partially because a bunch of companies are banned by America, so Americans can't buy them.
Yeah.
But
I've actually tried. I can't, right? There's
if
no
you're
way
American,
around.
there's some like China Mobile.
Okay.
You are not permitted to buy. Every broker should prevent your trade from going through if they know that you're American.
Rude. I need an AI agent for that.
Spin up your broker.
Yeah, exactly.
Broker agent. There we go.
Yeah. Compute with the cash flows. I don't have a stock pick, but I want to see more compute married with cash flow. This year was just
Definitely
compute
agree.
crazy.
Yeah.
There was no
I
cash
totally
flow.
agree. I totally agree.
And I think that's what caused this like separation
Yes.
in conversation. I think next year, whatever stock I'm going to pick, I'm going to make sure that whatever compute they're talking about has a cash flow element to it.
Right on.
I will pick a category that has nothing to do with Asia.
Great.
And it's not a stock. European small caps.
Whoa.
Wow, that was left field.
Left field, right?
Yeah, why?
Because no one
thinks about that.
assuming that
Go long on
Russia-Ukraine
Ukraine.
war will end.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
And I bet it does in 2026.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
that's a
a
prediction
very
for
bold
2026.
prediction.
That's
as
a
well.
good prediction.
And when it does, German defense
Taking
stocks
Alexi to dinner.
will take will fall massively. As a result, DAX will, because it's like now like 30% German defense stocks because they've risen 150%. And European small caps, they're not exposed to tariffs. They're not really exposed to China competition the way Siemens is.
Yeah.
And there's no war on doorstep now.
Yeah.
So the whole thing just gets re-rated up a little bit, maybe. And by the way, and energy becomes cheap again, right? Because now you can maybe buy from
Russian gas.
from Russia again somehow if the pipelines ever get reconnected.
Why do you think Russia and Ukraine will end?
Because it can't go on any further.
Well, I mean, I think we've been saying it for like 2 years. I'm just wondering why 2026.
Well, so the first step to a war ending is them starting to talk about negotiating, right?
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing now. Now they're still far apart,
yeah.
but they're talking.
Yeah. And global attention has certainly shifted, which
Yeah, like
means
none
that,
of us care anymore, right? So
which
like
is so sad to
Russia
say.
has not much to gain. They've already killed all the young people, so like all the young men. Ukraine has not much to gain. They're never getting Crimea or those East
Lithuania
states back. So like how much more of its
states.
population
Yeah.
does Ukraine want to sacrifice?
Yeah.
I read some crazy stat that like Russia gained 63 kilometers in 2 years.
Oh my God.
I'm like, there's another 1,800 kilometers to go. We're going to be here for a while.
The chart they're presenting in meetings is like,
It's like really zoomed in. Look how far we've gone.
the scale.
But it's not linear, is it? Like, I mean, you have most of your defense at the border.
Yeah.
So as you beat through that, I think you go a little bit faster. But that's not the idea either.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that I do hope this is over.
So like it's not out of the realm of possibility. And if it happens, it'll be a big event. Now it won't affect world markets.
Yeah.
But it'll affect
It's a good
things close
You're
to
a small cap.
Yeah.
The other category off the back of that is drone manufacturers. I think drone for the use of defense is just changed forever.
Yes.
Like Android.
And if you're a leading edge drone manufacturer, you're in the driver's seat.
Yep.
Swarm drone
Yes.
is
Swarm
the way to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that sounds terrifying.
Yep. That's exactly what it's meant to be.
So where we started this year, like you said, US AI was here, China AI was here, and then obviously we've started evening out. Where do you think we'll be at the end of 2026? Do you think China will be on par with US AI or like slightly edging ahead?
I mean, who's to say it's not already?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just we're bifurcating the world on so many fronts, and AI is just another front, right? So, you know, I found it fascinating, like last week or so, all the drama on the space station in China. If that was the International Space Station, it would be global headlines around 3 astronauts stranded, the ISS hit by debris, da 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 da. I mean, everybody would be talking about it, right? So the world is really, really separated now, and it's a scary way. So I just think it's in not a 2-horse race, but it's already equal. They're already racing, and they're going to continue to race.
Okay. I've been surprised. I feel like this year, the adoption of like Kimmy and Quen and, you know, like I just feel like it's become so much more mainstream and people are really comfortable talking about it. Whereas I feel like last year it would have been like a security issue, data issue question. Like it's just like become normalized.
I don't think businesses will treat it that way. I don't think it's going to change.
Do we think we have a new fundamental transformer model? I mean, we're still on the old Google 2016 paper, right? I think, and now there's new papers that have been released. Next year, does someone kind of then, is there a new OpenAI coming? Like fundamental new transformer stack, very different capabilities. Then all our conversation for the last hour is different.
Yeah. It'd be like
I
black swan.
Changing topics somewhat, it's like quantum computing. Something happening in quantum computing totally changes the world, right?
That changes the hardware. This LLM
breaks Bitcoin.
That's it. And all security protocols. Commerce changes.
That would
True.
be pretty
That'd be
crazy.
crazy.
That's a doomsday. That's a scary prediction for 2026 kind of thing.
All right. So lots of positive vibes going into 2026. Thanks so much. Any feedback from y'all, like or thoughts or reflections on hosting a podcast? I mean, this is the first time I think anybody of us is doing it.
Thank you to all 3 of you. It has been way more fun than I expected.
Oh, God. So why did you sign up?
So interesting. I thought that my baseline was good, and it's been so much better. So I've learned a lot from the 3 of you and our guests. Thank you, guests, if you're listening. Thank you, Mom, for continuing to listen. We need all the listeners we can get. It is in North America, Thanksgiving. In the United States, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. I'll start with gratitude.
Oh, that's nice.
How do you follow that?
Yeah, exactly.
Ditto.
I mean, I'd like to extend it to, I think, all the staff that are not on the platform, and they basically put a lot of work pre-production, during production, post-production. I think this is definitely been made very easy for us. I think we just have to come in. You know, we have the topics. Sometimes we don't even read the topics. We rock up and we still do it.
Speak for yourself. I know. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. WhatsApp that's like, hey, where's the prep doc this week?
Yeah.
So I do appreciate the extension of Peter's thanks to the folks that are behind the scenes, kind of making this happen.
Here.
All right. That's a lovely note to end on. Okay, so let's wrap it. Thank you for joining us for this 60/40 episode, as well as the entire year. It's been awesome doing it. I mean, again, first year ever, and I think it's been a great ride.
Super fun.
Yeah, thanks for joining along on that ride.
Thank you, listeners.
Definitely. And as always, you can drop any feedback or comments to 6040podcast@techinasia.com, and we will catch you in 2026.
Amazing.
Bye.